Lent, the period preceding Easter that in the Christian church is devoted to fasting, abstinence, and penitence in commemoration of Christ's fasting in the wilderness. In the Western church, it runs from Ash Wednesday to Holy Saturday, and so includes 40 weekdays. So Lent, we're here to talk about Lent. Today is Ash Wednesday at our church, and that is a place where we start our journey into the Lenten season. The Lenten season signifies 40 days in the wilderness that leads up to Easter. And Lent's a pretty important thing in our church. Some people have not ever experienced Lent. So today we would like to walk you through a few things that we do for Lent. In general, most people think about two things when they think about Lent. The first, seeing people on Ash Wednesday with a smudge on their forehead. The second, a season where you give something up. Well, today, we're going to look into it further, because that's not necessarily wrong. There's a lot more to it. Lent is the time before Easter that we didn't just put there so we could have something before Easter. Lent is the way that we prepare ourselves for Easter. We prepare ourselves to understand the sacrifice that God gave for us and why. See, Lent is not something we just do to do. Lent is a way that we prepare ourselves to accept the action that Christ did on the cross, as well as why we get so happy to know that He defeated death. Lent is a season where we recognize our weakness. We recognize our sin, we fast, we give some things up, not just to do that, but out of humility and dependence on Jesus. In 2 Corinthians, the Apostle Paul talks about this thorn in his side that kept him from being conceited. We never find out what that thorn is, but we definitely understand that thorn is the center of weakness in Paul's life. So we all have some of those things. And during Lent, it's a time that we take to figure out what those are. We're going to read some scripture. It's 2 Corinthians 12, 8 through 10. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this, that it should leave me. But He said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then I am content with weakness, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong." So listen carefully. Recognizing our weaknesses helps us recognize the perfect power and strength of Jesus. See, imagine how excited you would be to celebrate Jesus on Easter if you spent the 40 days leading up to Easter being reminded of His strength and power compared to your own weaknesses. It would make Easter an even bigger celebration, wouldn't it? So part of Lent, as you may know, is giving something up. And we give those things up so we can give up something that's stopping us from getting closer to God. But also a really important thing that I think y'all should understand is we aren't told just to give things up, but to take things up. And today in small groups, we're going to talk about a few things that you can take up to get closer to God during Lent. So in closing, just to wrap this baby up, Lent is a tradition that Christians have been observing for centuries. It's changed a whole lot. It can look different in different ways with different people. But the heartbeat behind Lent is that it's time for us to slow down, remind ourselves about our weaknesses, and recognize just how much we need Jesus. See, Easter is on the horizon. Jesus is King. So let's observe Lent together this year as a way to prepare ourselves and to become more fully devoted followers of Christ.